Hey folks, Ricky aka the War Champion is in the building today, and today I wanna have a good old conversation with you folks. I'm just want to put the joysticks down for a moment and let's have a good conversation. This is more of an opinionated one, but I like having these. And, I'm open to other people's opinions, like to hear their thoughts on this. I know this is a video that this is basically we're going to talk about this is my top 10 most annoying enemies I felt are in Kingdom Rush. Everybody, it's a whole slew of enemies to choose from in Kingdom Rush, so I can understand if you may or may not agree with the list that I have put together, and that's perfectly fine. Every enemy in some way is annoying. It just maybe it depends on your game style, or your style of play. Depending on how you play, it might affect how you perceive a certain enemy being kind of annoying and troublesome. So let's have a discussion, and at the end of the video, feel free to jump in the comment section and give maybe your top 10 enemies, that are annoying enemies. So without further ado, let's get started, folks. Let's get started. Yeah. All right. So starting off on top 10, starting at number 10 is the Troll Champion. By the way, this is all with respect to playing on veteran difficulty. So the Troll Champion, hit point 720, physical attack damage 30 to 50, physical attack rate 1 hit every 1.5 seconds on Steam. However, on Flash is every second. Ranged attack damage 40 to 80, true damage, ranged attack rate every 1.6 seconds, no armor, no magic resistance. Their speed is medium, and their special ability is that they're able to regenerate 10 hit points per second. Folks, this enemy, I don't like this enemy because I feel it's very annoying because, you could be tanking. It's never fun to have to tank an enemy and go one-on-one, and you got an enemy from the outskirts attacking and hacking away. And this is an enemy that just is hard to kill off because he regenerates his hit points. It's not impossible, but it's got a decent amount of hit points. He regenerates quite a bit of hit points, and it's just his range damage ignores armor, so it does true damage, and they can clear out strong paladins, your strongest units in a quick manner, because of especially if packs come. And certain levels that they were problematic on, especially is Hawkrotch Plateau, where you have choke points that are several choke points there, and then they show up and they hack away. They can really screw up good defenses, and that is why I have this enemy 10th on my list. They just stay and hack away. So let's see him in combat. So this is an example. This was just me doing a mage only on this level. But you see that right there? This is Hawkrotch Plateau when they brought Winter Wolves on the 13th wave. You see how they just stand and hack? See, there goes my elemental, because they like to do that. It's so annoying, and this is a prime example of them just messing up good defenses. And they're in that perfect choke point right there. It's a choke point where those Pathfinders came, but they can really screw up a good defense. Moving right along, another enemy that's a nasty thorn is number 9 on my list, the Troll Chieftain. Here are his stats. Hit points 1440, physical attack damage 10 to 30, physical attack rate 1 hit every second, no armor, no magic resistance, their speed is slow. Their special ability is that they do the Drum of War, and it enhances all their Troll Brethren's combat capabilities, such as their speed, armor, and attack strength. The exception is the Troll Breaker on the Steam version. However, if you played on Flash version, and the levels where the Troll Breakers and the Troll Chieftains appear together, it is a nightmare, because the Drum of War affects the Troll Breaker. So you have a 100% armored Troll Breaker with blazing fast speed and an attack power of 110 to 195. It is that's insane. And then also the Troll Chieftain, they are able to regenerate 20 hit points per second. That is just, this enemy, I cannot stand this enemy at times, because especially even another level, Hawkrotch Plateau, Glacial Heights, even other levels where they appear, but especially those two, because the choke, just like the Troll Champion, if they get at a good choke point and they bang that drum, they can really just mess up your whole strategy and your defenses very, very well. They are a nasty thorn to deal with, in my opinion. They just don't die either. There is a reason why this enemy out of the entire Kingdom Rush series leaks 6 lives if it were to successfully escape the battlefield. Though their attack power is not impressive, they just don't die, and that Drum of War enhances their brethren's, and they just they just make a mess of things. That's an enemy this is an enemy you look out for big time. But and they're not all that bad because you can easily kill them off. I mean, no, let me say that differently. You can tank them well, and because their attack power isn't all that. So but I still have them ninth on my list. They're for sure a top 10 annoying enemy to deal with. So let's see them in combat. So this is Hot Crotch Plateau. This was the 15th wave. This is on Flash. You see that? The Troll Breaker is enraged. That's how you know it's on Flash. So that Drum of War enhances their brethren. But you see where he's at by this choke point? Should a Pathfinder get near there, see? Now it enrages the brethren. They make a mess of your defenses big time. And I know you see those champions too. They're just making a mess too. But yeah, that was number 9 on my list. Number 8, moving right along, is the Demon Lord. Demon Lord, hit points 1200, physical attack damage 15 to 75, physical attack rate 1 hit every second on Flash, every 2 seconds on Steam. There were no armor, no magic resistance. Their magic resistance is medium. I believe it's 60%. Their speed is slow, and the special ability that they have that it makes them kind of annoying to me is they cast the shield around their brethren, protecting them from damage. And they can even perform this skill even while being blocked. Yeah, just like the Blood Trickster and Kingdom Rush Frontiers, they can do that special ability of when being blocked. So can the Demon Lord, and that's very, very frustrating in my opinion to deal with. And of course, since it's a demon type enemy, it explodes upon death, and they do 200 to 400 physical area damage. This enemy I don't like because, and I find very annoying because this is an enemy that you should look out for, but it can also be underestimated at times because especially on the levels like Pit of Fire and Pandemonium, where you got the Demon Legion and the Galaman and Cerberus, those and Flareons and Demon Hounds, they might catch your attention more often than this Demon Lord. But you should never underestimate that ability of theirs, because even while being blocked, it's bad enough that you're fighting off demon enemies that can explode upon death, but when they're shielded, that you just have extra work to do. You have extra work to do, and if a bunch of them appear in packs, they can make a gameplay go from bad to worse. They are similar to the Troll Chieftain, but I rank them ahead of the Chieftain because of that ability to perform that skill even while being blocked. So let's see them in combat. So this was the Pit of Fire. On the left side, they brought 5 Demon Lords, 24 Flareons. On the right side, 1 Cerberus, 4 Demon Legions, 8 Demon Lords. Yeah, 8 Demon Lords. So you can only imagine all that shielding they're doing, just nullifying the damage you're doing to the Demon Legions and the Cerberus, and even the Flareons on the right side, but on the left side. But that's just annoying to put up with. It's just annoying. Yeah. So that was number 8. So number 7 on my list is the Rot Shroom. Hit points 600, physical attack damage 12 to 18, physical attack rate 1 hit every second. They wear no armor, no magic resistance. The speed is medium, and the special ability that they have that is very annoying to deal with, makes them annoying, is they emit those poisonous spores upon death that deals 74 true damage over a 5-second duration. Folks, this enemy, I believe, is one of the enemies that makes Fungal Force. They only appear on Fungal Force. That's the enemy that makes Fungal Force very tough to deal with, because for one, it's already a barrack restricted level as it is because of the acid pool. But these enemies, they move fairly quick. You know, their speed is medium, and it's not, 600 hit points isn't the big, oh my gosh, it's not the big ooh-wee, but it takes some time to kill that off. It takes time to kill that off. And because there's only one exit, and Fungal Force itself, it kind of took a minute to get some bounty going. It's one of those levels where you want to specialize in setting up powerful towers instead of setting up a myriad of different towers. Because of that level, they trouble you early on with a lot of powerful enemies, such as the Nauseous Creeper and the Rot Shroom. So the Rot Shrooms, at some point, you might want to use barracks to hold some of the Rot Shrooms, but that poisonous spore, you might be engaging in battle with it, and then when one dies, it emits that poisonous spore. So your barracks, they take a blow from it, or your unit takes a blow from it, but then next thing you know, let's say another Rot Shroom steps up, and your unit didn't have an ample amount of time to remain idle to regenerate its hit points, and then it gets into another melee combat with the Rot Shroom, and then the Rot Shroom kills it. Then there you go, you got a husk. Or if you unwisely played with an Earth Elemental, or let me say that differently, if you chose to play with an Earth Elemental, you have a big risk there because a swamp thing could spawn. So this enemy was pretty annoying to deal with because they come in packs. It is just they move pretty quick, and it's only one exit on the level that they appear on. So they when they come in packs, they're all gonna come down there towards that one exit. So a pack of those things coming is tough to deal with. So let's see them in combat. So here's a good example. This is the 13th wave. This is a perfect example. All these rot shrooms here. So folks, you know what happens. You gotta let the sucker fly from the sky with the rain of fire and decimate all these rot shrooms. But look at the top where those 2 Teslas are at. This is a prime example. You see the poisonous spores. No unit can die from the poisonous spores. They have to die. You see that? But they were weakened by that poisonous spore, and then the rot shroom came in the picture and KO'd them. So then you had a husk as a result of it. And that's why I find them annoying. Moving right along. Next on my list is the Lycan. So in the human form, the Lycan has 480 hit points, and when they shift into a werewolf, they have 1180. And when they show up in their werewolf form, they have 1320. Physical attack damage 10 to 20 in the human form, 50 to 70 in the werewolf form. Physical attack rate 1 hit every second. They wear no armor. Their magic resistance in the human form is low. They have medium magic resistance in the werewolf form. Their speed is medium in human, however, in werewolf is fast. Special ability, as you already know, they shift into a werewolf, and they only do it upon a quarter of their hit points remaining in the human form. Also, they regenerate 16 hit points per second. Per second in the werewolf form, and the obnoxious ability they have, they have a 20% chance of spreading lycanthropy, and that only applies to barracks. So reinforcements, earth elementals, and heroes are immune to it. So this enemy is definitely, I feel, deserves to be a top 10 annoying enemy. Folks, it's the reason Night Fang Swell Iron Challenge is a nightmare. It's a reason Castle Blackburn could be painful to deal with because of this enemy. Night Fang Swell, the campaign, is a nightmare to deal with because of this enemy. It's fast, it's powerful, it regenerates hit points. They just don't die. They get it out of range of towers quickly. They spread lycanthropy, folks. It's just, this enemy, hordes of them, is hard to stop. And then barracks, it's worse to use a paladin against them. It's just not wise because the paladins are durable, but that 20% chance of them spreading lycanthropy is it's atrocious. It's atrocious, and they definitely deserve to be a top 10 annoying enemy in my opinion. So let's see them in combat. So this isn't realistic. I was attempting a barracks only at Castle Blackburn. This was on veteran mode, but as you can see here, these guys just don't die. Look at that. So many, and then they're shifting everybody into werewolves. They don't die. They are powerful. They decimate in seconds. You see what they're doing. You see that they killed off that barbarian right there at the bottom, but they're just powerful, folks, and they're fast. They're definitely worthy to be on a top 10 list. See all that rain of fire didn't even kill them? They're just a nightmare at times, folks. Yeah. Another rain of fire. Got to start the wave early. Let the rain of fire fire out again, folks. Still, those guys just won't die, will they? Very durable, too. So, moving right along, number 5 on my list is the Necromancer. Hit points 840. Physical attack damage 20 to 40. Physical attack rate 1 hit every second. Ranged attack damage 20 to 40. True damage. Ranged attack rate 1 hit every 1.3 seconds. They wear no armor, no magic resistance. Their speed is slow. Their special ability is that, as most of you know, they summon undead. Basically, these are skeletons, and occasionally it's a skeleton warrior. It's a 5% chance that they will spawn a skeleton warrior, in case you were wondering the frequency as to how often that will happen. This enemy is definitely annoying. His hit points are pretty durable. He's pretty powerful. He's a pretty durable enemy at 840. He doesn't have any armor, however, but this enemy is annoying because it creates extra work for you, and then it's how they summon their skeletons. Like, they summon them around him, and then the skeletons, as soon as they summon, As soon as they come to the field, they start walking and they're out in front of him. So with that being said, it changes the aim of your towers immediately. If you're trying to focus in on this necromancer, it changes the aim of the towers, as the towers are going to attack the enemy that's furthest in front of it. And then not only that, if you want to pick him off and engage in melee combat, it's hard to do that because the units sometimes they don't always step up on the necromancer. They more often than not they will not step up on the necromancer, making him pretty hard to kill off, and he's just frustrating to deal with, in my opinion. Definitely annoying to put up with. So let's see him in combat. This was Sarlgaz's Lair, the heroic stage, where they brought 7 Yeti, 3 Necromancers on both sides. But you see that right there. I had the barracks step up on one of them, but it didn't. Instead, they stepped up on the skeleton, and then they hack away with their ranged attack. They're frustrating and annoying at times to deal with. Yeah. So that's the Necromancer. Number 4 on my list, the Nauseous Creeper. Hit points 1200, physical attack damage 20 to 40, physical attack rate 1 hit every 1.5 seconds. They wear no armor, magic resistance is medium. I believe it's 60% if I'm not mistaken. Their speed is medium, and their special ability that is so obnoxious is that they spawn those mutated hatchlings, folks. This enemy is just a nightmare at times, folks. Like, it really is. It's the reason, like, fungal forest. This is another enemy aside from the rot shrooms that makes fungal forest very hard, because this enemy troubles you early on. It's a quality enemy. It's durable at 1200 though, and then it also spawns those hatchlings, folks. I swear, it's like when you tank it. Let's say like a level 3 tier tower, barrack tower is tanking them, and then they die off, or a reinforcement tanks it and dies off. I can't, folks. I feel like as soon as they kill it off, the Nauseous Creeper goes willy-nilly spawning those hatchlings. It's like they just go right into hatchling in spawning mode, folks. They just have those little hatchlings at the minute they get out of combat, and they can easily overwhelm your defense, no matter how good it may be. They tend to do that often. And this is an enemy, by the way, just like the Necromancer. All it has to do is show up, and it acts up. It shows up and acts up. It doesn't even require the presence of an enemy to be in sight for it to act up. It just shows up and acts up. It just spawns those hatchlings, just like the Necromancer would spawn skeletons. And that's what makes it kind of annoying to deal with, in my opinion. It creates extra work for you to do. But I don't think it's the most annoying in the game, because you have a myriad of towers to deal with it. So this was the iron stage, of fungal forest. But here you already see, this is just not the best clip, but you get an idea. You see all the spawning they're doing. It's just annoying. Creates extra work, and then there's hatchlings are pretty strong too at 10 to 20 attack damage. But yeah, those Nauseous Creepers, they're a problem to me. I feel like, I don't think they're the most annoying, because you have a lot of towers at your disposal to kill them off. It's a magic resistant enemy, so you have a lot of physical damage towers. Next on my list, folks, you know this enemy well enough. If you see my gameplay, I loathe this enemy. It's the Black Hag. Hit point 720, range attack damage 40 to 60. It does physical damage only to heroes, but no one else. Range attack rate 1 hit every 3.2 seconds. They wear no armor. Magic resistance is high. I believe it is 90%. Yes, folks, 90%. Their speed is fast. The special ability, they have a very long ranged attack. Not like the Death Coil in Frontiers, but it is long. It's good enough to be a problem. That's for sure. Insta kills any single unit except for the hero. And it flies on its pre-made path. Folks, if you've seen my videos, honestly, this enemy has messed up quite a few of my gameplays. This is the enemy that has done it. It is the Black Hag. You know I loathe this enemy, folks, if you've seen any of my videos. This enemy is like a drone to me. She's like a drone. Like, you might be fighting head on with an enemy, and then they come in the picture and insta-kill everybody except for the hero. And then when they come in packs, it's a nightmare. Like, they do massive damage to the heroes, and they really screw up good defenses because of that insta-kill ability. And their nightmare on Night Fang Swell, because they come, not only that, they come early on. So you might not have a bunch of towers set up, and they can just cause problems, especially early on. They also came early on in Castle Blackburn, which is why I felt they were pretty problematic too. And another thing about them, they don't appear by themselves. It's always a horde of enemies that shows up in its presence. So it's never the black hack by itself. And the other thing is because it has its own pre-made path, it's the only enemy that doesn't take the same path as every other enemy. They get in and out of range of towers pretty quick, making them very annoying to deal with. They swarm the skies, insta kill, do massive damage to heroes, and get in and out of range of towers. They're like a drone, folks. They are bad to put up with. They, in my opinion, are the reason why Night Fang Swell will be hard for people to beat. And Castle Blackburn, the same for that. This is an enemy. This is the one. I feel it's very annoying for all those right reasons. So let's see her in combat to get a better glimpse of it. So this isn't realistic. I'm playing a mage only on the campaign at Night Fang Swell, but here you see right there. See, look at that. My Earth Elemental, powerful. There it goes again. That's annoying. That's so annoying, folks. I mean, really, like your reinforcements aren't safe. Your Elemental isn't safe. The hero is gonna receive massive damage. Yeah, she's not gonna get insta kill, but it's just annoying. Like, my goodness. And you want them out of the building in a Pronto-like manner, but you got to put up with all that. Yeah, she just won't leave you alone. And it's just so frequent. Look at that. It's bad enough when you get multiple ones attacking. See, there they go. Insta-kill again. They're on the insta-kill again. Insta-kill again. They just don't stop, folks. That's why I have her number 3 on my list. So number 2 on my list, I have the Swamp Thing. Yeah, the Swamp Thing. 3,600 attack points. 3,600 hit points. Physical attack damage 40 to 100. Physical attack rate 1 hit every 2.5 seconds. Ranged attack damage 100. Splash damage. Their ranged attack rate is 1 hit every 2.1 seconds. They wear no armor, no magic resistance. Their speed is slow, and their special ability is that they do have a physical area attack similar to that of an Earth Elemental. They slam their fist in the ground. Their range as splash damage, I already mentioned, is that slime ball attack that they do. And they also regenerate 15 hit points per second, folks. This enemy, I felt was worse than the Black Hag. Though he does not insta-kill, he is a big problem. I mean, look at that. 3,600 hit points. A ranged attack enemy that regenerates hit points, and has 3,600. It's bad. That's just bad. And it does pretty good damage. 100 splash damage. If a pack of those things come, and even durable paladins are in danger of that. They're in danger of that ranged attack. And they also have a pretty decent amount of physical damage. That's pretty high, 40 to 100. That's actually big enough to cause a lot of problems. They are a problem because they sit behind units, especially in Rotten Forest and Fungal Forest, the only 2 levels they appear on. Let's say a Tainted Treant shows up, or a Nauseous Creeper, or whatever it is. It's annoying putting up with this enemy just standing behind doing massive splash damage every 2.1 seconds, and it's bad if you have multiple ones. This enemy definitely deserves to be on a top 10 list. You may not agree that it should be, maybe it should not be a rank 2, or maybe another enemy should be ahead of it. But I for sure find this enemy extremely annoying to put up with, and just frustrating. And it's not only frustrating and annoying, but he's very troublesome too. He's just powerful and just doesn't die. Rain of Fire isn't the most efficient way. The best way to kill it off is with an insta kill, to get, because this is an enemy you want out of the building pronto. You look for enemies like this. As soon as it shows up, he grabs your attention. It's this enemy, folks. So let's see him in combat. So this is Fungal Forest. Here you see the Swamp Thing acting up right here. He's just throwing and chugging away. Here I want to Rain of Fire one and get him and attack the treants at the same time, but you see it doesn't die. Just he's so durable. And then there he goes, chugging again, knocking out my paladins. They just don't die, folks. They're just a problem. They really truly are a problem. They're definitely annoying. Deserve to be on the top 10 list. And number 1, folks, here is number 1. You pretty much would anticipate it. If I didn't have this enemy, I don't know what you guys I don't know if you would even agree. You probably wouldn't have liked the video, but for sure, number 1, folks, is the Demon Legion. I had to put them. Hit points 799, physical attack damage 10 to 30, true damage, physical attack rate 1 hit every second. They wear high armor. Unlike the other demon type enemies. Exception is the Cerberus. Magic resistance none. Speed is slow, and boy oh boy, that obnoxious ability. They create an exact replica of itself, a bountyless replica. And of course, as all the demon type enemies, they explode upon death and deal 50 to 100 area damage. So folks, I rank this enemy number 1 for good reason. It's the fact that it's an armored enemy. And it's the fact that's one reason. It appears in the midst of highly magic resistant enemies, so it makes it hard for your towers to you're probably going to use physical damaging towers as it is already to deal with demon type enemies. But then when you bring an armored enemy in the picture, such as this one, a powerful one, practically 800 hit points, and now that can create a replica of itself. Matter of fact, a 5-fold replicas, so you can have one demon legion can become 5. It's bad. It's just bad. And imagine if a pack of those things come. This enemy gets your attention every time. This is the enemy that makes Pandemonium, hands down, in most people's eyes, the hardest level to beat in the game, because of that ability to create a replica and the fact that it's armored, appearing in the midst of magic resistant enemies. This enemy you look for. It's not powerful with an attack, with its attack damage, but it's very, very annoying to deal with that, because that ability to create a doppelganger of itself, and they just take a while to kill off, and you might not have the most efficient towers to kill it. It's a problem. It's definitely a problem, and it definitely makes Pandemonium and even Pit of Fire very hard to beat, in my opinion. So let's see them in combat here. So yeah, I had to put this in here, folks. This was a barracks only. This is not realistic. You would not do it this way, but this was a challenge. I had to put it in here just so you can see and get the big picture, folks. A big picture. You see this right here? Things didn't go right. Malak got all the way down here. All those demon legions came on this final wave. So you see all this. Look at that. He's annoying and troublesome because of that ability. Folks, how in the heck are we going to get out of this? Folks, the only way you're going to get out of this is by yakking from the skies above and doing it on Malak, so you can stay alive, because that demon legion caused chaos, folks. That right there sums up primarily why I feel that enemy is so annoying, because of that ability to create doppelgangers of himself. The big reason. Well, folks, I didn't mean to talk your ears off, but you know, that concludes this video. That concludes my top 10 list of the most annoying enemies in the game. That is my top 10, folks. You may or may not agree, and that's perfectly fine. Feel free to get in the comment section. I'd love to hear you guys voice your opinion, because you know, everybody's gonna have their own. Everyone's gonna have their own opinion and their own different perspectives on who they feel is the most annoying enemy. So we're not gonna all be on the same page on that. But I'd love to hear what you have to say, folks. So that was my top 10 list. I appreciate having your undivided attention and watching this video. Thanks again, folks, for watching. This is Ricky, aka the War Champion. Farewell.